You're listening to DraftKings Network.
Your data is like gold to hackers, and they'll sell it to the highest bidder. Are you protected? McAfee helps shield you, blocking suspicious texts, malicious emails, and fraudulent websites. McAfee Secure VPN lets you browse safely, and its AI-powered text scam detector spots threats instantly. You'll also get up to $2 million of award-winning antivirus and identity theft protection, all for just $39.99 for your first year. Visit McAfee.com. Cancel anytime. Terms apply.
Now's a good time to remember where tequila's story truly began. In 1795, Cuervo invented tequila.
Cuervo.
What are you doing here?
Cuervo. Anytime someone says Cuervo, I show up.
Well, I do know that to be true, but even during ad reads, like...
Cuervo.
I think you could lay out, especially for one of our great partners.
Sweet, delicious Cuervo.
Since then, Cuervo has stayed true to its roots. The same family, the same land, the same passion.
Cuervo.
So, enjoy the tequila that started it all. Cuervo.
Cuervo.
The tequila that invented tequila. Proximo. Cuervo.com. Please drink responsibly.
Cuervo. Shadow Show.
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 Shadowing it.
Shadowing it.
Chris, I'm a little scared here today because it's a Wild Billy Wednesday, and I have been reporting Heat news all morning, and I haven't had time to know what was happening in the meeting. So can you get me caught? That's a bad set of ingredients, me not having no idea what's going on, and Billy's in charge today.
Well, you've been reporting. Nothing has come out. So you haven't been reporting. You've been asking. You've been poking around.
No, I've been doing the reporting so that I can report in a few minutes something that is Heat news. But what are you looking at me like that for, Jeremy?
What Heat news?
Well,
I can't wait until after the
he's
Shadow
doing the
Show.
reporting.
Yeah,
but hasn't reported.
But what do I need to know about today's show? What do we have today?
What? Oh my God! I have so much. It's the wildest of Billy Wednesdays. He has a cheese conundrum. Jess thinks Jimmy Butler's good. Amin wants to talk about Kyrie. There's just so much to talk about. I'm out on red foods. What? I mean, there's just
everything.
There's a ton to get to.
Like coloring in foods, or
Red
just
velvet?
Like an apple, a red apple. Can you eat an apple?
I'm not going to get to it all now. I'm just teasing the topic.
Yeah, we're going to tease it for later, but Amin and I were also working on a list of characters we most want to see die in White Lotus and least want to see die in White
Lotus has so many filler episodes.
Wait,
the whole
way too many filler episodes. We can get to filler episodes later because, how about we just do a 4-episode season where something happens every episode, not one where I'm just watching
you
the
don't
guy
appreciate the craft.
You don't think that?
No, I don't.
Happened?
I'm not. Look, I didn't come to a museum. I came to Max. I'm not here to watch art. I'm here to watch a show. Entertain me, Mike White. Okay, I watched you on Amazing Race. Let's pick up the pace a little bit.
So we have that.
Character development. 2 words.
A 23
Develop
running in
these.
college baseball.
Billy says Jeff Conine is Dwayne Wade.
I mean,
That's true. That's true. We'll get to that later, but that is a fact. Their career parallels are crazy.
Walk around shirtless a lot?
I watched the first 4 episodes of Paradise.
Oh, you in?
Dude, I'm so in.
Oh, can't wait to talk about this. Oh, my God. I've been waiting weeks for you people to learn what TV is.
Amin has thoughts on Mina Kimes.
And Adrian Brody.
I know. He was texting me about that. It's nonsense what you said. I can't wait to get to that.
I can't believe you agreed with Trump on Pete Rose.
That too.
Yeah,
that was Dan, not me.
Yeah, that's one we can get into later if you'd like, Dan. Because that was crazy.
Dan's
Jeremy's right.
Feverishly writing all of these down. He's like, this is good. This
Around
is
the
good.
horn. Sad day.
Oh, we knew that one, though, right?
I'm reporting, Amin. I'm not writing any of this shit down. We're not doing any of this.
Excuse me?
Just says you're not a journalist once, and all of a sudden, here we are reporting news.
1 day later, right?
I thought journalism died yesterday.
And finally, Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner might get back together.
What?
Let's start the show.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
I mean, in my career covering the Miami Heat, I have never had so many people in an organization reach out to me from different pockets of the organization in order to have something clarified. Can you please play the sound of Dwayne Wade? And I don't know why Dwayne is doing this. And I don't know what the reaction to it has been anywhere, but this sound went viral last week on Dwayne Wade telling the story of when it was that LeBron James decided to leave Miami.
This was the first moment where I had an inkling that LeBron may not be back. One thing you don't do is with LeBron cookies. No. This is serious. Like, he loves chocolate chip cookies. Like, chocolate chip cookies and ice cream he loves, right? And so when he gets on the plane, Bron walks on the plane with a bag of food. One bag is all cookies, and the other bags are what his chef has prepared for him to eat, because he eats a certain way. He don't eat what's on the plane.
Yeah.
But, he have his cookies. So we get on the plane, and we play cards at the front of the plane. We play cards, and then at some point, Bron gonna be like, "Hey, bring me those cookies." And this one day, he was like, "Hey, where my cookies at?" And they had to come up there and whisper in his ear and tell him there were no more cookies on the plane.
Yeah.
That sat back away from the game. He pushed that cards back. He sat there quiet, doing his head like this. I was looking, I'm like, it was too much micromanaging at that point. Like, you're talking about a team who's 4 finals in a row.
Right.
You don't need to micromanage us.
I don't know what the truth is there. That may indeed be Dwayne Wade's truth. The Miami Heat could not more vigorously deny all of this. Dwayne Wade, that story is not true.
Wait, you just said, I don't know. I don't know what the truth is?
I am getting from too many different sources too much differing information from what it is that Dwayne Wade is alleging there.
There's more reporting than this, right? This is the reporting, Cookiegate.
Jeremy thought you were going to report that Pat Riley had cancer or something. Yeah, like he was freaking out back here.
I was panicking. Jump to conclusions here.
We didn't say the C word. We just said, is Pat Riley okay?
Well, the C word's cookies. Dan reported that.
Well, that's one fact that's wrong. It was not cookies.
Oh, so it did happen, but it wasn't cookies?
It was ice cream.
Ooh.
Oh, he did say he loves his cookies and ice cream.
It was ice cream. It was not cookies. Pat wasn't the coach. He didn't travel, doesn't know what the food is on the flight. It was the nutritionist, not Pat. And this one. It's
not great leadership.
Everyone knows, this is what I was told. Everyone knows that Pat would have eaten those cookies himself because of how much he loves chocolate chip cookies. So the story just has no truth to it. So I ask you guys, what's happening there? Is Wade just making stuff up for the story? Didn't like the micromanaging and is making up a story? Or
I think he confused the cookies and the ice cream, right? This is a clear case of just forgetting which dessert that LeBron loved that was actually confiscated. The story remains the same. The Heat micromanaging LeBron James. But at the end of the day, there's a difference between cookies and ice cream.
Can we eradicate at the end of the day around here?
No. Look, at the end of the day, sometimes you need filler words.
This nutritionist needs to stand down.
You don't, though.
That nutritionist
okay,
needs
we'll
to
jump
stand
on you
down.
every time you have filler words, Dan.
That is ridiculous.
You need filler. White Lotus, has shown us you just need filler sometimes. Get to 8 episodes. Let's throw in a 3 or 4, nothing happens. Weird incest situation going on with White Lotus this season. Yeah, there is. I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know who's going to kill who.
There's a lot of filler in that show.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about the episodes being long sometimes.
Yikes. Judgy. Sergeant Semantics at work here, right? It wasn't cookies. That's a lie. Dwayne Wade, you're lying. It wasn't cookies. That never happened with cookies. Happened with ice cream. Like, come on, man.
No, the story didn't happen.
Oh, then why did we just spend that?
According to the Miami Heat, I don't know what's true there. You tell me what's true. I'm not a journalist anymore.
You just told me that it wasn't Pat Riley, it was the nutritionist, and it wasn't cookies, it was ice cream, and now you're saying it wasn't
I'm
ice cream
telling
either.
you that it couldn't have been cookies. The story as it's told could not have been cookies. It could not have been a cookie story, according to my sources. I've got more sources on this story than I've ever had on a story. It's confusing to me, the number of people who are reaching out and telling me, that Dwayne Wade story, that didn't happen. That's not true.
So the extra detail isn't just, hey, the story didn't happen. It's, and if the story happened, it couldn't have been cookies. Yeah. It would have had to be ice cream.
And Pat Riley would have stolen him because everyone knows what a sweet tooth he has.
Okay, let me turn into big city lawyer here. Give me the suspenders on. Now, you see, Dan Le Batard, you just told us that Pat Riley loves his cookies. But you also told us a moment ago that Pat Riley wasn't traveling with the team. So how could he have eaten the mystery cookies on the plane, Mr. Batard?
He would have if he had been on the plane. He wasn't on the plane.
Well, I don't know that a defense to murder is I would have killed this person if I had the chance to.
I am so out on this nutritionist. It's their fault that LeBron left.
So, Dan, put your name on it. Dwayne Wade's a liar. Say it. Report that.
No, you can put
Go
your
out
name
there.
on
No,
that.
I'm not doing any reporting. I tend to believe Dwayne Wade on this situation. I think that something happened here, and you're just coming out here saying a lot of people have reached out to me and said there's nothing to see here. Move along. Dwayne Wade's full of it.
I don't know what's true. I don't know what's not true.
Well, it sounds like you picked a side on this one.
I'm reporting the other side. The one side has been told. The other side, from every crevice of the organization, is denying that story is true. You choose your truth. I'm giving you both truths. The Miami Heat believe that in this one instance, Dwayne Wade appears to be lying.
I think choose your truth is exactly why we're in a lot of the problems we're in.
Redirect, Your Honor. Dan Le Batard, what is the slogan of the Miami Heat?
I don't know what the slogan is.
You don't know what they pride themselves on, what they sell
culture.
Culture.
Culture. Sorry.
How would you define culture? Would you find a lot of dissonance in culture, or would you find a lot of unanimity?
Unanimity, yes.
Okay, so you are telling me that you have multiple sources from an organization that prides itself as speaking as one.
That's correct.
Curious.
Curious.
You are an excellent attorney, sir. I've fallen under your questioning.
The suspenders.
This is a message from sponsor Intuit TurboTax. Guys, Taxes was dealing with piles of paperwork and frustrating forms, and then waiting and wondering and worrying if you're going to get any money back. Now Taxes is easily uploading your forms to a TurboTax expert who's matched to your unique tax situation. An expert who's backed by the latest technology, which cross-checks millions of data points for 100% accuracy. While they work on your taxes, you get real-time updates on their progress, and you get the most money back guaranteed, all while you go about your busy day. No stress, no worry, no waiting. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax. Get an expert now on TurboTax.com. Only available with TurboTax Live, full service, real-time updates only on iOS mobile app. See guarantee details at TurboTax.com/guarantees.
Dan Le Batard.
While there's nothing official, and conversations are still ongoing.
Was that a fake Schefter? Because it was
pretty good.
It was
yeah.
excellent.
I feel like there's legs. Yeah.
I tried at the beginning and then I lost confidence in it.
Why?
It was good. It was good.
You got
There's
this.
nothing official.
Yeah, it's so
and
good.
Conversations are still ongoing.
Stugotz.
It is trending towards Nick Sirianni remaining the head coach of the Eagles.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
I'm curious, the rest of you, how it is that this is going to end in Miami. Like, what are your thoughts?
It's over already.
As Jimmy Butler is 9-1 at Golden State. They win in New York last night. Golden State looks great and doesn't need very much from Jimmy Butler to look great. And so in a 10-game sample, Jessica's fallen in love with Jimmy Butler because Jimmy Butler can now wreak vengeance on all of Miami and can be the winner of culture as the cult vigorously defends Pat Riley's right to eat whatever sugars he pleases.
Yeah, I really don't have a lot of skin in the game in the NBA, but
Just kicking us when we're down.
The Warriors winning a championship with Jimmy would be really, really, really funny.
Just to watch Jeremy.
I think it'd be kind of cool.
Oh, stop it.
No, I mean, it would be cool.
Oh,
watching Jimmy get to play 30 games and then go on another 30-game run. Like, this is the perfect thing to get the maximum Jimmy Butler.
I was having a disagreement with Amin most of last season because it seemed obvious to me that the young people were going to take over the league. But the idea that the Lakers and Golden State could get back into the game with Steph and LeBron, get back into the game because their teams appear to be generally good and old, right? Because I don't know what you guys are, when you're watching these games, I mean, Luka and LeBron. Last night, they win by 20 against New Orleans. They make it look easy. Luka's not been efficient, and I haven't seen these particular numbers before. LeBron plays 34 minutes and is +7. Luka plays 33 minutes and is plus 37. I didn't watch the game, but I assume that when Luka was out there by himself without LeBron,
yes,
the Lakers looked like the Finals Mavs.
They looked a lot better, yes.
Without LeBron out there, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Because Luka's played nothing but inefficient games so far, and they've played low-scoring offensive games. But right now, I'm guessing, just from looking at box scores, because I'm not watching those games, I'm guessing they're still playing through LeBron, and Luka's trying to figure that out, correct?
Box score wise, I'll tell you, Dan, to support your theory on Luka's dominance.
Lakers have a pretty storied history. A lot of players done a lot of things. He's the first Lakers player ever to, in one game, score 30-plus points, dish out 15-plus assists, grab 5-plus rebounds, make 5-plus threes, and be plus 30 or better in the same game. Ever. In the history of the Lakers.
I was confused by the box score. I'm going to say it again. LeBron, 34 minutes, plus 7. Luka, 33 minutes, plus 37.
Mm-hmm.
Did it mean that when LeBron wasn't on the floor, Luka put up 30 straight points?
Well, no, he didn't put up 30 straight points, but the team performed at a more appreciating rate than when LeBron was out there with them.
Because Luka is a good deal better than LeBron.
No, I wouldn't go all the way.
At this stage in his career, Luka's a good deal better as an offensive player than LeBron. I mean that is no indictment of LeBron.
Right. I think it's when you talk about plus minuses, right? That's not necessarily especially raw plus minus. That's not a good metric for who's the better player. There's a ton of factors in there. Who's on the floor with you? Who's on the floor against you? And how you were used in those moments. But yes, we can say that the team performed better in those non-LeBron minutes, which is a big thing because if you think about where the Lakers have struggled in the past, handful of years, same place where the Warriors had struggled, which is when LeBron or Steph are not on the floor, things go wrong. And now both of those teams have acquired someone who has essentially not only negated that negative, but turned it into a positive that's even greater than when those guys are on the floor.
You guys do realize, right, that the only way for drummed up storyline drama that the NBA needs to carry some momentum into crowning a champion that feels a little more fulfilling than Boston or Denver winning is LeBron and Steph getting back in the game. Actually making a run and making a 7-game series out of, no, we'd still like to have the league. I just don't think of either of those two teams as being anywhere near as good as what Oklahoma City is.
Well, Oklahoma City is the best team. They have no weaknesses. There are no. If this happens, then they could really. We're doing that with a lot of teams out there. Well, if they can get this out of so and so, with Oklahoma City, it's like, nope, we're ready. We've got it all. Everything you could ask for: bigs, guards, wings, 3-point shooting, getting to the free throw line, defense, versatility. They have it all. Now, even experience, which was a thing last year where we said I don't think they're quite ready yet. Now they've got that as well. Cleveland, similarly, I think pretty much has everything answered there. Everyone else, we're doing some sort of mental gymnastic. Right now, as it stands, there's a high likelihood if the Lakers stay at 2 that they're going to play the Warriors in the first round, which would be 2 versus 7, assuming the Warriors get out of the play-in. The only way that could get mixed around is if either the Lakers fall to 3 or if the Warriors end up being the 8 seed instead of the 7 seed, in which case they'd have to play the Thunder in the first round.
But I want to get into the Jimmy Butler of it with you guys because Golden State went from being something that was middling, was around 500.
Below middling.
Steph obviously needed help to obviously an injection of something that has made them 9-1. And Karl Anthony Towns didn't play last night, so and New York was at 100-something. Like that's not that offensive team. Mitchell Robinson is back. Like the Knicks are formidable, and they will be a different team in the playoffs when they are healthy. But you're seeing what from Golden State? You're seeing something that When we talk about teams being ready, young teams being ready, historically, something like Golden State is exactly the kind of thing that knocks off a young team expected to win a championship that hasn't played in any Game 7s that any of us have thought about. Like the team that gets knocked off there is run by people like Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, Steph Curry, who have played in 400 of these.
You play against the old caged lion, the old cornered tiger, right? And it's got one tooth and it's all scraggly, but then you get in its reach and it gets you by the neck. And that's what absolutely the Warriors, and to an extent the Lakers are as well, is that, in the regular season, Dan, a lot of people make a big deal about your regular season. What was your net rating? What was your offensive rating? But the reality is that's built off of the corpses of a ton of bad teams. Like, everyone's got it. Every good stat you see from any team, a lot of it is built on, we beat up on the bad teams. When you get to the playoffs, there are two things that happen. Number one, there are no more bad teams for the most part. Number two is during the regular season, we're going from game to game and changing game plans. Basically, like, once we're done with the Knicks game, boom, we're done. We're thinking about the Bucks tomorrow. And there is a kind of a transience of our attention span. But when we get to the playoffs, everybody in the organization, players, coaches, scouts, we're all just worried about you. You're our opponent. And so what ends up happening is things that happen in the regular season don't really matter as much. All that matters is, can you counter and can you continue to adjust? A great example of this was, however long ago it was, Oklahoma City versus Portland. Oklahoma City had beaten the Blazers 3 times out of 4 times in the regular season. And so conventional wisdom would say, OKC, higher seed. OKC had beaten Portland 3 out of 4 times. They're going to win. But Portland matched up great, and that was the Damian Lillard way bye-bye series because the matchups and because the lack of adjustments Oklahoma City made. So similarly, when you talk about what's going to befell maybe the Cavs or maybe the Thunder, it would probably be a team like this. Like it's the meme of the old man and say, call an ambulance, but not for me. That's exactly what the Warriors are.
What's Walton Goggins' deal this episode? Like, we don't really know what's going on. He needs to get to Bangkok for some reason. He's interested in, the owner of the hotel, but it seems like he's more interested in the owner of the hotel's husband potentially.
But who is the husband? I think they're trying to make you think that the husband perhaps is involved in
Greg's
his
Gary
deceased
now.
father's death.
For sure. There's a lot going on. Oh, is that what it is?
How interested are you in the fan theories? Because
I haven't looked into any of them yet, which is maybe why I'm so confused, but those will probably confuse me even more.
Yeah.
Then we're just releasing snakes.
What's up with the snakes?
I can't figure out if his girlfriend's teeth are real or fake.
They are real, and they're
Are they?
spectacular. Yes.
A bit distracting at times.
She's amazing.
She's been great, but there's
I
a lot
loved in
going
the first
on this
episode
season.
when the one woman was like, I love your teeth.
Yeah, I
And
couldn't
she's like,
believe
"Thanks."
it. I couldn't
It was
believe
so
that.
good. I love
Anyway,
that.
so Goggins, you think that the husband...
Well, there's a lot of theories.
Mm.
Perhaps the husband is a nemesis of some sort and he's seeking revenge. Perhaps her husband is his father that he thought was dead his whole life.
That's what I think it is.
Perhaps none of the above, because sometimes the show gives you 10 red herrings and then none of them really end up mattering, and then something completely different happens by the end of the
There's
season.
a whole will they, won't they with the massage therapist, too, that's going on there. Will they? Dan,
lots of tension.
Dan, can I put it on... Juju, can we put it on the poll? Will they?
That little friend group, by the way. Lots of knives. Lots of knives. in
Good
the friend
writing.
group.
Oh, they hate each other.
They hate each other.
They really
Hate
do,
each
but they
other.
think that they love each other.
They don't.
But they're realizing, ooh, do we have anything in common?
Honestly,
Not really.
probably the most relatable relationship on this show, I think, right?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people say that.
Sad admission, I think we can almost relate to that group, right?
Right, like you have friends
Yeah.
that you don't see that much. You all have your own lives. You all live in different places.
And
You've
you
all
hate
kind of
them
gone your
all,
own way. And then you're
really.
like, we need to do a girls' trip. And then you all do a girls' trip one year. And then you're like, oh my God, I actually don't really
Yeah,
like
I
you
hate
that
all
much.
these people,
We've,
yeah.
we've grown apart.
I relate more to Walton Goggins. I want to release snakes.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out, because, I mean, we know because of the way that the first episode starts, right, that someone comes in and there's just like a mass shooting is what it seems like is going on,
Or
right?
some sort of
During meditation and yoga, someone is shooting a gun, and then I think doesn't a body float through, and that's where the episode starts.
Spoiler alert.
Yes, spoiler alert. Well, no,
if you're familiar, it's the first scene. If you're familiar with the show at all, the opening scene of the first episode of each season, a dead body floats somewhere, or there's like a reveal that someone has died. In the first season, it was, there's a body going on the plane, and then the whole season you're like, who's the dead body leaving the island? So you're wondering the whole time who it is. And then they just throw all these characters at you for like 8 episodes. And then the last episode, there's finally something happens, to Billy's point. There's a lot. It's a slow burn.
That robbery is going to be connected to something down the road, 100%.
I think it was a hoax.
Really?
Yeah.
Inside job.
Yeah, no, it's something. It's
By
one of the red
who?
herrings. Yep.
The security guards?
Perhaps one of the employees who was distracting
That's
the
right.
security guard was in on it, or perhaps the woman who was in the changing room, who is in a relationship
woman
with
of the
Greg
night.
/ Gary. Maybe she's in on it. Perhaps.
They're in a real relationship. She's French.
Well, Goggins,
from Canada.
Goggins was like, she's obviously an escort, and his girlfriend was like, no, they're in love.
She's the best character, right? Goggins' girlfriend.
She's the best.
Yeah.
She's number one on my list of people I least want to see die.
Ooh, what if the dad, dad that now we see in the preview for the next episode, spoiler alert, is going to be like addicted to pills, his wife's pills, which he keeps saying no to, but then he's going behind her back and taking
You know what I
anyways.
call him? Kenny Wynn's business partner. I remember Kenny Wynn's name. I have no idea what his name is.
Yeah, that Kenny Wynn situation.
I call him Malfoy because he's Malfoy. He's
Dude,
Lucius Malfoy.
I don't want to give Kenny Wynn's business partner any advice, but like the solution is don't go home. You're fine, dude.
Exactly,
You're good.
you're in Thailand.
You
Well,
got away with it.
hold
Just
on,
stay there.
Billy.
Stay on vacation forever.
I have another fan theory.
Be like Gary
for you.
Gregg.
I have another theory for you that I saw. There's no spoilers in this because we don't know what's going to happen yet. We're only in episode 3.
Yeah.
But however,
And nothing happened. Episode
nothing
3.
nothing ever
Nothing
happens
ever
until
happened. The
the
guy
last
goes
episode.
out. He makes secret phone calls. That's the whole show so far.
He's embroiled in some
The
sort of
siblings
money,
maybe have a thing
money
going on there.
laundering.
You see
money laundering
Schwarzenegger's
scheme.
like top of his wiener.
Yeah, he's number one on the
Go
list
on.
of characters I most want to see
Dude,
die.
he's a weirdo.
And
He
he's
can go.
also 2 through 5.
Here's the thing about him. I'm sorry to
No,
cut
no,
you
go
off, but
ahead.
here's the thing about him. I saw a video
Saxon.
how proud he was like to get the role, and he was like telling his mom and his sister like I got the role, and they're like all crying and so happy,
And then he
like
found out what the role was, and he was like, ugh.
no, and then like
Walton Goggins?
you see the
No,
top of his
Saxon.
wiener in the first episode, and like if I'm in a show and you're seeing the top of my wiener in the first episode, the last thing I'm doing is telling my mom and my sister come and tune in. You know what
Also,
I mean?
Mike White must be a basketball fan or just interested in sports in some way because he made them all Duke people, and it's very unflattering.
No, and then Carolina.
Except for Parker Posey,
Yeah.
who's a Carolina fan. Anyways, I
yeah,
digress.
back to you.
The theory was in the first episode, she mentions that they normally vacation the Caribbean, but this year they went to Thailand, and so perhaps she's aware that her husband's into financial crimes, and she's already stowed their money away in the Cayman Islands on previous vacations, and now they're going to be staying abroad because they can't get extradited from Thailand? Question mark.
The daughter that's there to kind of do like the book report or whatever,
Yeah.
she seems like the only pure character on the show, right?
Yeah, her and
you
Amy
think there's
Lou Wood.
skeletons?
That's the concern, right?
You think there's skeletons there,
has
though?
to be. There has to be a twist
the
with her.
security guard who got hit on the head. He's the purest guy. No, why not?
Yeah, he's a sweetheart.
I feel so bad.
Maybe
for
he's
him.
Goggins'
Something
dad.
about- or Belinda. I like Belinda too.
Belinda's always pure.
Which one's Belinda?
Belinda's the one who's
the good
Tanya's
witch.
masseuse in the first
Yeah.
season.
When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, like Mattel, Heinz, or Skims, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and brilliant marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the business behind the business, making and selling, and for shoppers, buying. Simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. No one does selling better than Shopify, home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Heinz uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Batard, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Batard to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Batard.
All right, I know I gotta do this ad read, but hold on. Let me reapply. Did you hear that? Yep, that's my new favorite lip gloss from NYX Cosmetics. Now I'm ready to talk to you. I've been a huge fan of NYX Cosmetics for many years now. In fact, I use their Thick It, Stick It brow gel every single day. So you can imagine my excitement when we recently received a special delivery to the Batard studios from our friends over at NYX Cosmetics. And there it was. When I opened the box, glowing, I heard the angels sing, "Ah." It's their latest lip gloss fat oil lip drip. It's NYX Cosmetics' first lip oil of its kind. This creamy lip oil will have your lips dripping with fat, perks. You get all the shine of a lip gloss and none of the stickiness while experiencing 12-hour hydration. I'm usually a matte lip gloss kind of gal. My normal go-to is NYX Cosmetics Lip Gloss, the Lingerie XXL. But after applying the status update shade, I have found my new go-to lip gloss. Fat Oil Lip Drip has high shine finish with comfortable wear and none of the sticky texture. A lip product that's hydrating, non-sticky, and only $9? Now that's a win. Try Fat Oil Lip Drip from NYX Professional Makeup. Available in 14 universally flattering shades. Find your perfect Fat Oil Lip Drip. Shop now at nyxcosmetics.com or a retailer near you.
Don Batard.
I don't like smelly either.
Stugotz.
Women stay home in the kitchen where they belong.
This is the Don Batard Show with the Stugotz.
I just want to point out that before Dan claims he's doing reporting journalism and taking notes, he was just furiously scribbling on his paper the whole time.
Yeah. Well, there's cookies to report on. So
I was getting more heat information there. I also just wanted to get
Rocky Road.
My names right on what it is that we're referring to. Escort, sex worker, and Amin's choice was a woman of the night, which I have not heard since my father was trying to explain it to me as a child. I was, 41 years old. And my father...
Be on a fly on a wall for that conversation.
My father said, a lady of the night, and I didn't know what it meant. I didn't understand. I was too young to understand. Does anyone still refer to it the way that Amin just did?
They're just whores.
No, they're not.
A woman of the night.
I agree with you, Amin. They use the word escort in the show, which is why I said escort, but I think sex workers, what people say.
Well, most people say
Bane was out of line.
Hookers.
Definitely don't say woman of the night.
Hookers is what.
Really? That's bad?
Well, but I had not heard it, but I had not heard it since my father said it, and Amin's aging caught me a bit off guard.
Oh, no. Let's be clear. I don't call them women of the night. I think it's a funny way to euphemism the term.
So, like, they're not trollops because trollops just do the work for free, correct?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
The other thing I wanted to ask you about the derailment is I got to think the audience is going to side with me here. Your cynicisms about three old friends getting together and hating each other and that being relatable cannot be the experience of old friends everywhere.
Oh, Dan, your naivete is so cute.
It can't be the experience of old friends everywhere. Am I wrong about 100%
this? 100% is.
Just women.
I just watched it happen to people in my family.
Also, what? Just women?
No, I think.
No, Amin.
I think it's. Have you never lost a friendship over your life because you've grown apart from someone?
Of course. No, but I wouldn't go on a trip with those people. Like, I wouldn't discover that on a trip.
Right. I think these people are very wealthy and they're in denial that they aren't friends anymore, or at least don't have anything in common anymore. And they're also, again, very wealthy, so they can afford this, all-inclusive trip to Thailand.
I would never go on a trip with anyone I considered a good friend who I have outgrown.
But Dan, you're saying that as someone who knows you've outgrown certain people. Imagine a friend group. You guys live in different places, so you don't see each other all the time, but you're in a group text. So you're always talking and all the time. You're like, hey, we were best of friends once upon a time, but because we're apart, we don't have those social in-person experiences. We are growing apart. So one of the friends is going to church. It might be MAGA, right? One of the friends is a Hollywood actress, and she's having a great time. And the other one is going through a divorce, right? And so we're in contact all the time. Of course, we're friends. But because we haven't spent that time together, restaurants and bars and all those things, we're growing apart. So we're like, we should rekindle it. We haven't hung out in so long together. Guess what? We're going to Thailand. And then you go, and as you're talking, you begin to notice things, right? You notice things and / you've had opinions that you've kept to yourself because it was in the group chat. You didn't want to put in the group chat like, yo, your husband left you because of this. And yo, since you went to Hollywood, you think you're different. And yo, you're MAGA now.
Old age, I thought, was at least in part something with friendship that you discard them along the way until you've only got the ones you want to travel with later in life. Like that's what old friends are, I thought.
But those are friends since seemingly it looks like middle school, high school age. Yeah. They've grown up together. They've gone on to live their own individual wealthy lives. And maybe the last time they got together 5-6 years ago, things were a little different
in what their lives were and in what the lives of everyone was. And now, 5 or 6 years later, some things have changed and opinions have changed, and now you don't have those friends,
what
Jeremy.
The other thing, Dan, is I don't think they're old. We did this old. They're not old people.
They're younger than you.
They're younger than me. They are
like
These are women.
I don't know how old you are, but yeah,
probably in their late 30s. So old enough to that there's been time apart from one another, but not quite old like to the point where you're saying, well, look, I've excommunicated all the people I don't want in my life.
Late 30s struck me as old friends. Like, if you've had friends into your late 30s, you've had friends for a long time. I don't know that.
I mean, it depends when you met them. Like, if they're from childhood into their 30s, they've been friends, essentially their entire lives.
Look, Billy, I can't even imagine who you'd travel with, but I wouldn't
travel to Thailand with my family. Like, I'm not getting on a flight that long. Get out of here. You crazy?
Like, so you are of this age, and if I said Billy went to Thailand with some old friends,
if I go to Thailand, I committed crimes.
That means Kenny Wynn is in business with Billy.
If I'm in Thailand, find my Kenny Wynn.
All right, so
you'll never see me again.
You're simply not going to entertain.
I'll be Bobby.
The hypothetical.
I'm going to pull out the Greg Gary situation.
Right.
Yes, and Dan, I'm here for you.
Yes, I don't want you here.
No one
for me
wants
anymore.
to be my friend. I
Chris
get it.
Cody, if you were to go on a trip to Thailand,
yes,
with some friends right now, those people, what are the chances that you would look across at any of them and be so distant from knowing that person that you would learn on that trip that you had outgrown that person?
It's funny because I just met up with a friend in Germany, in Epcot, that I hadn't seen in a long time. And we hit it right off. It was like we never missed a day, honestly. One of my oldest friends, he now lives in the Orlando area. And it was great. We had like 6 hours together. Our family, our daughters were running together. It was like the highlight of the trip.
Yeah, but 6 hours is different than what these women are doing.
That's true.
So
he was
in
just
Germany.
It was in Germany, Italy. We saw the world, actually. Yeah.
I don't understand what part of this you can't relate to.
Oh, it's not even that I can't relate to it. I just disagree with your universal consensus of we all agree, right, that if old friends do this, this is totally relatable. And I'm just like, is it?
I mean, it was partially for joke, but like that's real life. What? Like people's friends like move away. Not everybody lives in the same city forever, and you don't like as life goes on and their careers advance and the families grow and whatever, you don't stay in touch with them as often as you did. And sometimes you just say, you know what, it's been 10 years. Like, let's hang out to rekindle the old times. And then you find out like, wow, everybody's life has changed a lot. And I don't know if these are the same people that I was friends with.
We're not in college anymore where it's easy. You just live down the street from a bunch of people that are your age. And it's just, you don't like, you commiserate over chemistry class. Like life's happened.
Do we avoid politics? Yes. But
that's the other thing.
We make it through.
That's the other thing. There's a lot of times where you're like, I don't even want to risk knowing what the politics
Let's
are.
talk about nothing.
Yeah.
And just make jokes from 15 years ago so we leave this all having a good time. I want to know as little about you as possible right now.
You know who else has grown apart? Dan in journalism. You walked in here eager to break heat news. And all it was the mildest of corrections over a podcast episode that, quite frankly, as someone who works in basketball, that one escaped me because I don't think it really made waves like that.
No.
Nobody cares about the story.
Tread lightly on this one, I'm telling you, because this is Dan's MO. He's going to drop a bomb with like a minute left in the segment. Like, he started out with the cookies so that you do this, and then you say something silly or stupid, and then boom, egg on your face because he drops the real news right as the hour is about to end. And then you're like, oh my God, I can't believe you let me put my foot in my mouth and say that. And then he's like, reporting, jazz hands. And then it's like some big thing. Just be careful. We've been down this road before.
Journalism die.
It would be amazing if I then did Jeremy's dark report at the end, like, hey, how great is that?
Let's make it abundantly clear, not my dark report, just my fear.
There's time. 4 minutes still.
No, but I actually came in here wanting to talk about, I actually wanted to come talk about the mortality of Jimmy Johnson and Pat Riley.
They're both?
You understand our thinking then, right? Because like we were prompted with that and we're like, we're going to do this. And then you're like, hold on, I've been doing a lot of reporting this morning and I want to do a big mortality episode. I'm like, okay, well, someone's dying.
I whispered into Billy's ear, you're right.
That was an off-air hypothesis of mine that I've been working on for a little bit.
But it would be in poor form if the punchline at the end of this was the reported news that somebody we care about is sick. I am not going to do that. What is happening
This is
right
insane.
now? No,
But you would do that.
This is even worse.
I would not do that. That is untrue.
Dan, this happened once before.
Martin Schottenheimer?
No, the day that his brother passed, he was in here joking with us the entire morning, like if nothing was wrong, and then just did it on air. And we're like, what? Yeah, we were like joking around in the kitchen. And we felt terrible, obviously. So that's why we're all treading lightly, because we're like, we don't know how this segment's going to end.
Well, but you're going to be disappointed either way now.
Well, I'm never going to be disappointed if someone's staying alive.
No, but you're going to be disappointed because it's not going to be this heat news that you crave of somebody important dying.
I don't want that news, is what I'm telling
Well,
you.
but
That's not what I want. But I know your tricks.
No,
I know your tricks, old dog.
You evidently don't know my tricks.
Now you're holding off until tomorrow. I know these tricks. You're hoping that these people stay alive long enough to not be found out.
Please stop this music. I'm not going to report that anyone is dying or that anyone is sick. And now I'm not going to report anything at the end of this segment. I'm going to try and regather myself because this is all taking a dark turn. That White Lotus, Sunday nights on Max. We are talking. Can you guys do a show with me instead of against me?
Like you don't want this show.
No,
Dan.
I want the joke that Billy made in your ear. If it's gonna distract me, if you're gonna do that, okay? If you're gonna break character, look. The last time you guys did this is the single best joke in the history of this show. If you had made it,
no.
The last time this happened was while Jessica was fishing, and it's the. I wish that joke that you told Amin that made him break character then had been said on the air.
This one's way, way, way more radioactive.
This one's worse than that one?
Yeah. This one was told to me by someone else, and I was like, I'm not doing that, so I gave it to Amin to see if he would do it.
Okay, but it can't distract me when I'm in the middle of talking about my mentors in this business, in coaching and mortality. Like, it can't be that. It can't be so loose on Wild Billy Wednesdays that the joke you make in Amin's ear distracts me while I'm talking about the possible death of people.
Well, Dan, I think we took a negative turn here. Maybe it could be something positive that you want to break for us.
The ice cream had sprinkles.
Oh, my God.
Is it a wedding?
That's so beautiful. They're going to renew their vows. Chris and Pat. Right? That's her name, Chris?
Ron and Rhonda.
Ron and Rhonda, too, yes. Dan and Valerie.
Would you do a vow
Chris and
renewal,
Christine.
Spo and Bam.
I saw that Jessica accused me of being the most likely in our group to do a vow renewal. That's probably true.
Jessica is? She has to do the vows first.
Dan was the most likely.
Oh.
And it wasn't an accusation if it's just a suggestion. Like, yeah, I think.
No, I think you got. I think
It sound like a bad thing.
I'm guessing a group of people who would say that their spouse isn't their best friend because that's always a lie, that your spouse is your best friend. I would assume that group of people would think renewed vows is corny.
Vows too.
That it's a corny thing, I would think. No?
I think it's corny. I mean, I might feel differently later, down the road.
Renewed vows seems like one of the stops on the train track to divorce, right?
Oh, yeah. Like, this is the last.
It's the opposite. Gasp. I would think it's the opposite of that.
You gotta save it.
The only person I ever knew to renew their vows was my grandparents at their 50th wedding anniversary. And at that point, it was way too late to get divorced.
I think celebrating your love is beautiful, Dan, but you don't really want me on your side.
Well, no, you're a romantic.
I am.
I am a romantic as well. But what is that on the poll? Renewed vows on the train track
It's one of the
to
stops
divorce?
on the train track to divorce.
Are renewed vows are renewed vows one of the stops on the freight train?
Terrible train track.
The question was, Dan, if you had to choose, which one's got to go, Pat Riley or Jimmy Johnson?
Oh!
Howdy, folks. It's Mike Ryan. I talk to you about Miller Time all the time, but we're in the wintertime right now, and one of my favorite pastimes is to crack open a Miller Lite and enjoy myself some Miller Time during the wintertime, because when there's a brisk chill in the air, it just makes everything right. My friends and I who live down here in South Florida can actually sit outside because it's not super muggy. We can thoroughly enjoy our Miller Time together. And for you listening, I know there's a lot of things going on right now. Sports, chief among them. Nothing more important than sports. From basketball and hockey to game night, winter means more moments with the coolest people in your life. Make these moments even better with Miller Lite, the great tasting light beer for people who love beer. Now's the perfect time for friends, family, and a great tasting light beer. Tastes like Miller Time. And you know Miller Lite is brewed for taste. It hits different than other light beers, and at just 96 calories and 3.2 grams of carbs per 12 ounces, Miller Time is always a good time. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. Tastes like Miller Time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.